pace, as you can see, plenty of that. With rises, you have descents as well. Next peak will be at 6.1 kilometers to go. And then, of course, we have the Mur itself, just 600 meters of it to the line. Pace has picked up. We've got heartbreakers on course right now. We've got 3 men up the road. Leukeman's, well, he got a shake of the head from his DS. I'm not quite sure whether he just told him, quite frankly, that what to do with his bidon. He wasn't interested in it. And it was as simple as that. Maybe a bit of tetchiness, not quite sure. But there he is at the back at the moment. What about the man who's been quietest of all, Yves Lambert? Now, he was 7th in the Paris-Roubaix, sort of quietly efficient, I think it's fair to say, for Ethics Quick-Step. He's only 24 years of age, took the Doigt d'Or of the West-Vlaanderen, and yeah, why not Yves Lambert today to cause something of a surprise? Because I'm not saying he's been engaged in kidology, but he hasn't exactly been on the drive, up the climbs, or indeed on the flatter sections. So maybe a surprise, we'll see. Minute 8 with 9 to go. Is it all too late for these guys? Yeah, all too late for everybody now. You can just see the gap coming down. We've got a few attacks, but the gap's coming down because the 3 in front of Lambert, Quinziato and Leukemann are just easing back a little, thinking of how they can win the stage. All 3 of them are very capable of doing this. Leukemann, it is 10 pro wins in a 12-year career. Already mentioned Quinziato, the current world team time trial champion. And Lampard, the young man from Belgium, 24-year-old, has won the Drijsdag West Vlaanderen earlier on this year and up there in the Paris-Roubaix. So all 3 of them are really strong bike riders. It could go either way. Quinziato is probably the least favoured climber in the front group, but when you come to this at the end of a stage race, certainly Wanty Group Gobert and Ethics Quick-Step will have a little bit more pressure than Quinziato. But Quinziato, if you give him a few metres, he could go all the way to the finish. Well, that's what we reckon. He's in the great position right now. 8.1 Ks to go. He's done a lot of work. He doesn't need any excuses out there. He can say to anybody asking him to do some more, hey, I've done plenty. Why don't you do it yourself? This man did it himself. Wellens did it yesterday. Emphatic victory in miserable conditions. Thankfully, today, at least, it has been mostly dry. You're seeing the odd little spots of moisture on the lens, but I think that's from discarded bidons. And Wellens just out of position and just fighting to get back in with his team. He's playing around. He's just weaving and showing, isn't he? Yeah, he's obviously got a lot of confidence. He won last year, came back as #1, and yet again he won yesterday by keeping a very calm head. Now, let's just stay calm for these guys, eh? These are your little flick-flack and the hay bales they're in. Down here is the nastiest turn, I believe. We're just about to take a left-hander. I think it's on the bottom of this. No, I think we may have already taken the nasty one that I'm actually concerned about. In fact, I think they have. They're out of it. So they have dealt with the most technical part. They've got 1 minute and 4 with 7.2 Ks to go. No diminution in their pace whatsoever. They've got the sun in their back, and I think they're enjoying themselves. Yeah, it's coming up to this final climb. The gap is just hovering just over 1 minute. They know they've got enough time. That's why they've just kind of started to kick back a little bit the pace. Just thinking now of this final climb, waiting for the attacks, because I do not believe that all 3 of them will come to the finish alone. Or together, sorry. Make your mind up. Yes. There's that nasty turn. They've got a very brave pennant man as well, who's girding his loins on a regular basis. There's that little traffic ramp, and then they go down that little side street. That was the one I was worried about. Thankfully, they've got through as well. But look how it squeezes them, Brian. Too wide as a maximum through some of those turns. Yeah, they've done it a couple of times before, so they know. This has been a feature over the last couple of years of the Eneco Tour. Andre Greipel just leading the way in the red jersey, so it looks like he'll keep that. They pulled out the team cars and they're running to the finish. You just see them on the left-hand side, but this is the final climb. Expecting something from the man at the back, Quinziato. So, engaged in it, 700 metres, 8%. This is the worst of what remains. When we get to the Mur itself, we only do the first half of it. It's only 7.6%. It's only 600 metres. So, Will there be an attack off the top of this one, or will they just bide their time now? I guess it depends on how you're feeling.
It does. I'm expecting something to happen here. They have been finessing a little bit, thinking of this climb, but it's Loikemans at the front, Quinziato and Lampert. But I'm thinking, you know, that Quinziato really needs to try and distance the other two because he is the least favoured climber, and he'll want to try and go alone.
Well, off the top of this, don't be surprised if our time trialling man in the red and black really does stretch his legs. I think Ethics Quickstep's Yves Lambert, he's rocking and rolling, has been throughout, and he's determined to stay in touch. Loikemans, clearly he had spoken to his DS, and it wasn't encouraging, which is why the head shake from the director sportif. But just look at Quinziato. He had to go now, and it's Loikemans that's going to try and stay with him. Oh, Lambert has just gone pop, has he, on this climb? Can't keep up with it just yet, and it's a clean pair of heels from Quinziato, and Loikemans is on damage limitation mode right now.
Well, Lampard is gone, but Loikemans is really battling. He led on this climb. Quinziato cannot afford to wait. He cannot let Loikemans come up. He looks behind him, and Loikemans is doing a fantastic job for Wanty Gruckenberg.
Oh, well, goodness only knows what he said to his director sportif. Maybe it was something along the lines of just leave me alone. We've seen riders just pull out radios as well. Pulling out a margin now is Quinziato.
Loikemans is gone, so Quinziato is on his own now.
Quinziato out up front. Oh, and look at that. Loikemans joined by Yves Lambert, also runners on the day. And this is BMC's Quinziato, absolutely in his pop. And the motorcycle has been given leave to go by the director, race director, and he's got a long way to catch up. How quickly did he get that margin with 5.2 to go?
I tell you what, Loikemans got within about 3 or 4 meters of him, but this man this is what he does best. He's ripping it up, but back to the front of the peloton, and it's Gilbert. We thought he would try something, but just look behind him. He's got Wellens and Kelderman watching him.
Absolutely locked on him as if they're using tow ropes. This man, Manuel Quinziato, is now going to bring some joy to BMC. After trying so hard over the last couple of days, BMC are not to be denied this stage win, and it's going to be courtesy of this man, Manuel Quinziato, their Italian time trialling engine room. And today he was in the right break, in the right place, and indeed surrounded by the right kind of riders. He did a lot of work, particularly in the climbs, which was something of a surprise, and it bought him almost the right to sit in when he needed to. Didn't do much of that, and right now he's sitting on a healthy margin back to absolutely everybody. Those who are with him in that three-man breakaway have gone pop. Manuel Quinziato out front, but Yves Lambert of Ethics Quickstep first to fail, and then Bjorn Loikemans with a very brave push for Wanty Gruckenberg also found out. And now we're going to find out what the margin is. I suspect it might be a big one. 53 seconds back to the leader's jersey. They've got some pace, but not as much as that man. It's going to be a famous win for him, and for these guys it's hope of a podium, but I think they might get swallowed up.
I think they're going to stay on for second and third place in the stage, but they have to work well together. It was difficult. Loikemans was leading in the final climb there, and Quinziato waited late and broke the hearts of the Belgians today.
There we are. Quinziato picking all the lines he wants today, only 3.6 Ks from home. And Lambert and Loikemans are now wrestling for runners-up spot. It would be very welcome to these guys. They've tasted a good level of success, the pair of them, at other races, but well, this would have been a big one with some huge scalps. Unfortunately, it's Quinziato who has bossed everybody. I'm still not sure that these guys won't get caught, as we see a bit of wrestling for position behind them. There we are, 28 seconds with 3.2 to go. Looks like they've got enough, and the hardest part of the day, and let's not forget they're half-decent climbers. They've been out there and taking on the tests, the bergs, throughout the day. And here is your man. He's a nice guy, Quinziato, as well. He's not the youngest, 35 years of age. Tour de France team, time trialling team, and a stage on the Eneco back in 2006. So he knows success. He's tasted it here as well. But this will go down as one of his best performances individually.
It is. We're just talking about it. In 2006, he last won a stage of the Eneco Tour. a wee while ago, as they say, and looks as if he's going to win his second stage of the Eneco Tour. One of these riders, just you know, a powerhouse. He won the team time trial in the Tour de France. He is the current one of the members of the BMC team that won the World Team Time Trial Championships. He's only got 2 kilometers to go, and then the 600 meters up the Geretsbergen climb, and he'll be putting his hand up. And over the last few years, Van Avermaet won last year for BMC, and then we had Stibar for Omega Pharma, and then further back we had Balan, who won for BMC. So it seems to be a stage for BMC.
It's also a stage that in the past has actually been a heartbreaker. We've had those who had gone long just being passed by guided missiles out of the main pack. Getting a jump late was what it was all about, controlling the breakaway. Well, they couldn't control this man, and in fact he has been in control of his entire destiny this day. And nice to see a lady who looks very much like my mum. White-haired, just giving him some encouragement. I'm sure it's not Ord. She'd come and knock on the commentary position if it was. Here we go, little turn in then from Lambert and Leukemans. No, it's definitely not. Here we are then. This, the last kick up to the line, and all credit to this man. You know, BMC, they're a fantastic team. They're a good team in terms of their fellowship as well. They've got some real stars, but they managed to have a good atmosphere within that group. There are some that just take a secondary role to some of the higher rated riders. Is it fair to say that? But occasionally they get their head, and when they're allowed to do so, they can perform absolutely beautifully. Manuel Quinziato is usually part of an enormously effective team time trialing outfit for BMC. Well, today he's done it on his own, but his time trialing skills have stood him in very, very good stead. This is the last little rise for him and his last 300 meters, and frankly, I couldn't be happier to see him taking this victory.
He's one of these riders that's a workhorse for the team he rides for, BMC. Another rider, Daniel Wass, it's been a great display of you know, sheer power. The other two riders, Lampert and Leukemans, are not too far behind. In fact, they're closing on him, but I still think that Quinziato's got enough in the tank just to hold them off.
Well, he checks over his shoulder and engages a bit more power. This is a flatter section within the climb. He's got 150 minutes to go. You know, it's no done deal just yet. And here comes Leukeman coming back at him. Oh, my goodness, is he going to break his heart? Leukeman suddenly finds a lot of drive. And Quinziato, open-mouthed. He knows this is going to be closer than perhaps he thought. But I think he's going to bring the victory nonetheless. Big look behind himself. He thinks about how he's going to celebrate this one. It doesn't matter. Celebration is what it is. And we acknowledge a great rider. In the end, the gap only 3 seconds back to a very brave Bjorn Leukemans, who crosses the line now, and 8 seconds back to the last man from that breakaway, Yves Lampert, the 24-year-old. His time may come in the future. And so we look further down the order for the minor places, but it's of minor consideration, considering what we've already dealt with. And big smiles as well from the BMC crew as they carry away a very tired Manuel Quinziato, who timed it just right, Brian.
Yeah, and Van Avermaet coming up to take 4th, Alaphilippe 5th, Benuts 6th, Pozzato in 7th, Bacalans just trying to hold on for 8th, 9th, Gilbert.
And our race winner crosses the line right now. Our champion, we knew it from yesterday. Tim Wellens, crowned winner of the Eneco Tour. He laid the battleground, or the battle plan out yesterday. He actioned it absolutely perfectly. He gets a pat on the back, and I'm not surprised. Lotto Soudal